What's crackalackin'? It's your boy Baroshmo, just in case you did not know so. And today we're going over the 2020 NFL draft class, the running back draft class specifically. On average, the past 5 years, about 23 running backs are taken. I'm going to give you my top 20, but before we get into that, I'm going to be collaborating with a ton of different NFL content creators here on YouTube. We're actually going to be on Zoom, and this is all going to be hosted by the Fantasy Football Counselor. It's going to happen Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right? We're going to go over basically an open discussion, a nice little panel. Is there going to be an NFL season, assuming this year? But that ought to be fun. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff in the future as well, and I'm hoping this will actually help my channel grow a bit. That way I can devote a little more time to the channel and devote more time to making content, not just for you guys, but with you guys as well. That's something I definitely want to do in the future. It's just, man, time restraints. We're in crazy times, and hopefully you are doing well. But go ahead, become a bro and subscribe, leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. I'm trying to pump out as many different videos as I can a day. We're doing all the different team-oriented mock drafts. The rankings should finish tomorrow with the safety class. On top of that, I'm working on that 7-round mock draft. Free agency grades should be out today finally. So, like I said, man, I got a lot going on. But on top of that, before we get into this, keep in mind, I put the rounds up, right? When we go into it, you'll see it on the layout where they may have like 6 rounds. This isn't like where I predict they'll go. This is where I'd be comfortable taking those guys. So keep that in mind. So let's go ahead. Without further ado, let's dive in. We're going to start at 20 with Darrynton Evans, man, out of Appalachian State. Now, you love to see a massive workload, especially for a back with below average size. He hasn't fumbled at least since his freshman season. He displays good vision. However, he doesn't really break tackles and typically goes down very quickly after passing the line of scrimmage when he's met with contact. Number 19, Joshua Kelly. A lot of people are way higher on him than I am. He got a lot of work at the Senior Bowl, which is a plus, means coaches were interested. They really wanted to see how he would do, but he's very limited in what he can do for your offense. I mean, he won't be used much in the pass game in the NFL, which for me automatically makes you a late rounder. And he isn't the quickest guy, but he only had 3 fumbles over the course of 450 carries. Levante Bellamy is a guy that I was pretty high on. I mean, he's very quick, he's very fast. I love his production over the last 2 seasons. However, he only had 15 receptions last year. But if you go back to 2018, he had 30. So he does have the ability to be a game changer in the passing game. Like I said, I was pretty high on him early in the season, but thinking more about it, kind of reminds me of Dre Archer. You remember him? At least his type of potential. And you know that guy just kind of fizzled out of the NFL fairly quickly. Because it just seems to me, Bellamy, he may be more athlete than actual running back. Then I got DJ Dallas from the U, my boys, the Hurricanes. Now, if Dallas realizes his full potential, then he may be a late round steal. The Hurricanes, they didn't really fully utilize him to his full capabilities, his full ability. He has adequate speed for a running back, but he breaks tackles at a very large rate. He played receiver in high school, so he may be a threat in the pass game, and it's really unfortunate that Miami didn't really give him the opportunity to do so in that offense. And then at 16, I got Jamichael Hasty, out of Baylor. He had a pretty good Senior Bowl as well. A lot of these running backs had pretty good Senior Bowls, and considering his size, he's ideal for an outside zone scheme, which actually a lot of these guys really are ideal in zone schemes. But he has pass catching traits, and he's pretty tough to take down. On to 15, James Robinson out of Illinois State, Now, he gained a lot of steam after the Shrine Game. Scouts and coaches who interviewed him, I mean, they were filled with nothing but nice things to say how much they actually loved him as his character. Now, I like seeing him used in the pass game during the Shrine Game, but he really wasn't in 2019. He holds a lot of weight for 5'9", and he really looked at the combine. He was pretty slow, not that explosive. That's why I got him down here. JJ Taylor out of Arizona. Let me tell you, Taylor, he is a good route runner with and he's just explosive with the ball in his hands. He was missed on a handful of passes in that Washington game. Like, I mean, Khalil Tate, man. I mean, how many times? Because, you know, I live in Arizona, so I like to root for Arizona, but at least in football. But wow, man, it was frustrating. Like, this guy was like getting so open, and you know what? He won't hold up as a pass blocker, and I think he's more of a gimmick player than actual running back. Still, I think there is value in the late rounds for gadget players. Anthony McFarland out of Maryland. He's lightning in a bottle, which kind of surprises me that he wasn't used that much in the pass game, though he did have 3 drops on 23 targets. 5 fumbles over the course of 245 carries. It's not great, so a lot of people, they're going to be really high on his ability, but kind of want to reel that back a little bit, just with the drops and the fumble concern. Raymond Calise, I mean, dude, he really improved his stock at the combine. Teams are going to love his speed, especially with how quick he gets up to top speed. He got better this year at absorbing contact, but he was also, I kind of could have helped because he was kind of in a three-headed like running back system there. So he didn't see a lot, at least a large workload. But still, I mean, he still leaves some stuff to be desired in that aspect. He'll be ideal for, guess what? Outside zone blocking scheme. On to 11, I got AJ Dillon. I got him high. I'll get into it. Basically, he's 6 foot, 247. No secret, he's a power runner, and he does that extremely well. He demonstrates quality speed for his size, but as expected, he doesn't have great explosion or agility. He didn't do that well at the combine. He won't be used in the pass game, which you heard me earlier say, if you can't be good in the pass game, you're going to be a late rounder. But I mean, he's so good at what he does as a runner, as a running back. You kind of value those guys a little higher. They're still just day 3 to me, though. Now, again, there's still going to be a role for him in the NFL, but with those type of limitations, he'll only be a hammer in a committee backfield. On to the top 10, I got Darius the Jet Anderson. Gotta love that nickname. Now, he has ridiculous acceleration, if you couldn't tell by his nickname, and he can't be caught once he's at full speed. However, when he's forced into tight space, or if he doesn't really see a hole open, he gets real bouncy in the backfield and moves south, resulting in some pretty big losses. Probably best for outside zone blocking scheme. Like I said, a lot of these guys are pretty tailor-made for those. But I think it would especially do him well because it will narrow down his options of where to look for the hole. And then Eno Benjamin out of Arizona State. He had a sensational 2018 in my opinion, but everything kind of came back to earth in 2019. He's very elusive. He's great at making tacklers miss, but almost always goes down after contact. He might end up being more of a rotation back, but most teams are starting to go basically with a running back by committee approach. Keyshawn Vaughn out of Vandy. He came to the Senior Bowl and he weighed actually 13 pounds lighter than he did at Vandy, which for me it was a bit discouraging. I don't care if he was trying to put on speed. I liked him at the size he was because he was a pretty powerful runner. He's pretty good at making tacklers miss. At least he was really good at that in 2018. Just really loves shoving off contact. But in 2019, it happened far less. But also, Vandy, their whole offensive production was kind of down that year. So, I mean, just look at Jared Pickney. But the guy's got good vision, good acceleration. Antonio Gibson, man, out of Memphis. This guy coaches at the Senior Bowl. They really wanted to see what Gibson could do on the ground because we already know how dynamic he is in the pass game. I mean, he had like over 700 receiving yards to his like 300 some rushing yards. So he did pretty good. I think he passed with flying colors, 11 carries for 68 yards. At the combine, he actually tested with the receivers and he ran a sub 4.4 in the 40, which it was wild at 228 pounds, especially for running backs. He feels more wide receiver, or he feels more like a wide receiver learn how to play running back, which by no means is a bad thing. Honestly, that could be something today, like the NFL starts moving towards. Like we see safeties convert into linebackers, we could see wide receivers convert into running backs. Maybe. Cam Akers out of Florida State, man. He was hurt by a terrible offensive line. Florida State's offensive line sucked. They did. But you can't really deny the ability of Akers, and that's what I kind of came around to. Because for me, if he really works hard on his hands, he could be really deadly in the pass game because he runs routes really well out of the backfield. Yeah, he just has a handful of drops. He's a bit bouncy in the backfield, sometimes taking too long to really get moving north. But I think part of that was just because how bad Florida State's offensive line absolutely sucked. Poor offensive line play, man. Florida State was pretty bad at that. Zach Moss starting the top 5 here. I hate putting him here because in my heart, I think I still would put him at number 1. But I just love his running style. He breaks tackles like it's nothing. I mean, 1,000 of his 1,400 yards came after the contact. He has 66 receptions over the course of his career, which is real nice. He's just an every down running back. He relishes contact, but he's gonna probably end up falling to day 3 because of a slow 40 time, and this was after he pulled his hammy during the vertical jump. I by no means did I think he was gonna have a good 40, or at least a great 40, but I mean, after the pulling the hammy, it just wasn't great. He's gonna fall down boards, so knowing that, you kind of want to take the value off him a little bit, knowing you could get him a little later. But I think he'll probably fall to day 3, so in the 3rd round, I'd totally jump on this guy. J.K. Dobbins. I love Dobbins' patience when he takes the handoff, and then how hard he makes a cut. Once he makes a decision, he cuts so hard. It's very, very Le'Veon Bell-esque, you know? He's a big play threat, really waiting to happen. However, he does go down after contact when he hits the open field. He doesn't really have moves to make tacklers miss. So that kind of brings him down a little bit for me. Not much, though. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, man, at LSU, he had a special year. It was really good in the run and just amazing in the passing game. He's very compact. He has great balance, which makes him a real nightmare on the sidelines. And you could see that in the national championship game. Now, he doesn't have breakaway speed, and he never will tear off a big one. He'll never get a large gain, but still, he has the kind of skill set to make him every down back in today's NFL. And then Jonathan Taylor, finally moving him from, I think I had him 5th last time. And you know what? I kind of just said, I know he's never going to be good in the pass game. He had 8 drops on 50 catchable passes throughout his, I think his career. I don't think it was just last year. But he's so good as a ball carrier. I mean, he's a perfect combo of size, speed, strength, downhill ability. He's a force. He breaks tackles. I mean, even despite the pass catching limitations, I think there's no doubt outside of Moss, there's no one close to his ability on the ground. I've kind of come around to that, and I'm willing to spend maybe a late 2nd, early 3rd on that. And then DeAndre Swift, he is my top running back. It's which is kind of weird. I think that it kind of speaks to this running back class. There's no one I think exceptionally special in this running back class, or at least elite. I mean, the things I like about Swift, he's coming from a pro style offense, and it's kind of easy to see why many consider him the top back in this class. He's not very explosive as a runner by any means, or at least compared to some of the other guys there in the top 10. But I mean, he's the most rounded. He's very good in the pass game. He's a very good pass blocker. He runs real well. And he's going to end up being, like, just like I said with Edwards-Helaire, he's going to be a 3-down back. So I can see why a lot of people like him. But yeah, that's it for the video. Go ahead and do the YouTube thing. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.